to welcome everyone to today's PrestoStats volleyball training webinar. My name is Brad Sagan. I'm the Director of Marketing at Presto Sports. And today we're going to walk through PrestoStats volleyball and show you how to run a match with it start to finish. From logging in, setting up, through live play entry, reports that go out after the final point. We're going to go over all of it. So follow along, and by the end, you'll understand how to keep a full match. And also pay attention, even if you're used to using PrestoStats, if you've used it previously. We have made some strategic updates throughout our platforms that Zaid will go through, and as we go through today. All PrestoStats products, for those of you who have not used PrestoStats before, are cloud-based. So getting started and setting up rosters and schedules just requires an internet connection. We'll come back to what happens after if a connection drops mid-match. Also of note, for those of you that are NCAA customers beginning this year, rosters and schedules for the NCAA should be entered via NCAA Manager, and we'll pull that data directly into our system. In fact, I believe today we had some new fixes go out for that, so a lot of things going on with that as well. So. Just to give you an overview on volleyball, just an easy experience for anyone especially who's familiar with Stat Crew. If you've used that before, you're going to have the same hotkeys, similar experience as with that. So, with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Zaid, and Zaid is our product owner for volleyball, and he's going to walk you through everything. So, Zaid, take it away.
Thank you, Brad. Let me grab the screen here. Let's get right into it. So typically you'll log into either your primary domain of your website if you're one of our website clients and a stats client, or if you're a stats only client, you would just go to prestosports.com/admin. In theory, your credentials would have already been provided to you, your email address and your password. We'll click sign in there. Upon logging in successfully, you'll hit the game day homepage. Within this view, you'll see a list of the events that are scheduled for today. You have the ability to tab through other dates to locate other events on different days. And if you choose to, you can go directly to an active season. These seasons are going to be controlled by the access that your individual user has. So if you have access to a team within one of these seasons, you will likely, and the season is active, you will have the ability to go directly to the season via this menu. For the purposes of this video, we'll just click directly into volleyball. Upon accessing volleyball or any season within our network, you have a few tabs that should always persist. You'll have an overview, schedule, stats, links, rosters, coaches. The roster is broken out into two because I had access to two teams within this season here. Roster management is quite simple in our platform. We have a few different ways to go about it. You can add individual players should you need to add on to an existing roster. We do have the ability to import a VRO roster. So if you have a Stat Crew volleyball roster that you can bring in, we do support that as well. You have the ability to import many players by a pre-generated CSV. In interest of time, I've already added the rosters for both teams we'll be using today. Ensure that when you're uploading new rosters that the players have unique uniform numbers. I'm going to pop over to the stats tab really quick here before we get into the event. Just some things that you want to have set up before your event. We do have the ability to integrate your box score statistics as the game's happening with stat partners per each team. These would be typically configured on a team-by-team basis, and as long as you have the correct path, password, and authentication method, we would essentially just send it to that location as updates as updates hit our network with that file. You may also choose to email the post-game statistics to a common delimited list as well. Presto Sync is also available should you ever find the need to render your live statistics on an in-venue scoreboard. This Presto Sync is a package solution that you would grab from this section of a given season. Grab the package that's obviously for your machine. I've already got the Mac version downloaded here. But let's configure this so that as the game is being statted, as we launch the event, we have an active transmission that is set up.
J'ai un problème de son.
Essentials here for us. So I just wanted to launch this first, grab the list of events that are assigned to my account. You'll see a myriad of events here. I'm obviously have access to just about every season sport that we offer. Being sure I'm going to locate the correct event for us here, 8/12/230. Okay, and let's bounce back to the game day platform. Let's go to the schedule and let's launch the event. Let's go to the event view page. We have some details here as far as when the changes were made, when it was added, as well as the ability to launch the stats platform. Before we do that, let's set up Presto Sync. We will just select a random folder on my machine here. And we will say today's date is going to be and we will start the transmission. Application is looking for changes to a file that it's just created on my local drive, which you can find here. As you can see, there's no data populated yet. We have not launched the event, but we just wanted to get that set up ahead of time. So we will go back to game day. We are at the event customization view, the event page. Let's pop into the customization view. Anything you need to change as far as address, city, state, this stuff will be passed over through the box score. If you need to add a venue, do that as well. These are event-specific. This is event-specific metadata that will be passed over to the platform as we launched it. So after launching the event from game day, you have a couple of options here. We're going to go through live scoring. Score sheet's a remedial solution. We have extensive documentation on how to handle that. The purpose of this demo is to go through the live scoring platform. A couple of things to set up for the event itself. The game setup essentially will prompt you to enter a location, but since we had that entered through game day, it was passed over. So don't be surprised if you see a warning here requiring you to make some changes. Also within setup, you have the ability to enter referees, scorers, enter a third as needed. All this stuff is going to be preserved in the box score. A couple of different rule settings and options we have available. Manual stats, by default, it's set to no. We will generate the stats for you. Rally scoring, by default, is true. We don't have another option available. And assist after kill. In scenarios where you would like to enter the assist yourself, it's an extra step following a kill. You would just toggle that to yes. Systematically, given a set followed by a kill, we will assign the assist automatically. Advanced editing allows you to go into the individual play log and select a play and essentially edit the text fragments of that play. We're going to keep that off for now. If you do have questions on advanced editing, just please reach out to us. I would prefer these changes happen through the GUID and just follow the wizard with the plays if you are not familiar with the advanced edit and the ability to essentially write the text sequence for a given play. Keystrokes as well, we'll keep them as is for now. Next, we want to go into the team rosters and we want to ensure that we're setting our starters and participants. Just grab the first 6 here. Save that. We'll require the second team to have 6 starters provided as well. At any point, we go back to the roster tab here. If you happen to come into an event and you realize that the team that you're playing does not have a roster attached, you do have the ability to import a stat crew roster, grab the roster from a public URL. In the import stat crew roster case, that's probably going to be your most prominent. We do have that workflow available in game day as well. So if you needed to do that before the game, it was probably to the best of your interest to save you some time. Okay, let's go back to plays here. We've got our starters set up. Let's start off the game with a substitution, just a really remedial scenario. We'll say volleyball demo 1. We're going to prompt you for the players that are coming in. You can select one or multiple. We'll just do a single player for now. And we'll switch them with one who's already on the court. And that's essentially how you would set your substitution. Something to call out on this view, I think it's pretty important. The highlight on the score clock, or the scoreboard, excuse me, actually indicates who we expect to have the ball in this case. So if you were to select volleyball demo as actually serving here, you'll notice that the highlight behind the scoreboard actually changes. So we're rendering that team's roster. So let's just select the first player on the roster as a server, and we'll say we've got an ace. And we'll say the receive error was by number 1 on the opposing team. And as you can see, we've got a play that was added. The score was updated. The set score was updated. And we, again, retain possession with the team that essentially ended the play. So let's start over here. And we'll say we've got an error. Okay, and here we are. Service error by volleyball, or by volleyball demo 1. We have a score, and we have the ball transferred over again. Let's get into a bit of a deeper scenario here. We'll say we've got a serve, got a receive attempt, followed by, now the receive attempt result is important. You have a few different fragments available. You can set it up for a pass. You can directly attack. We'll have a receive error, a ball handling error, or a simple over. We'll just go with the simple over. The simple over will send the ball over to the other side. As you can see, we're back to volleyball demo 1. We'll say we have a set, and we'll say it came from number 3. And we'll say that it led to an attack by number 7. And that would ultimately resulted in a kill. Couple of scenarios there. We've got an assist that was automatically tracked. We've got an attack, and we've got a kill. At any point in the game, if you want to go into the play-by-play or with or take a look at individual player statistics, you can just go to the reports tab. You can print this out at any point. We have various versions. You can pull at any point in the game as well. Let's go back to the play sequencing. Volleyball demo 1 is going to serve again. We'll go into a dig scenario. I know I'm selecting player 1 for simplicity here, the number 1 in all of these, the great majority of these scenarios, in this set at least, because it appears as if the player number 1 is just consistently won the point. But we don't handle rotations. So rotations on our side are, if you need to substitute a player out, you're more than welcome. But those are more rotations are more on court handling, and for us, we don't have a notion of, or yeah, we essentially don't care. Okay, so we're back into this play. If you ever need to navigate back through, you forget where you left off, this is always available as well. Similar with a lot of just about all of our legacy stat platforms. Let's go into a receive attempt. So we've got an attack. If you were to select the same player with the receive attempt as the same player who gets the attack, in the system will prompt you in scenarios that don't make sense and will require you to select a different player. Okay, and we'll say that resulted in a dig. The ball is back over to Volleyball Demo 1. And the dig result was a set. And attack. There we are. Score is being updated. The ball is being bounced. It's very important to keep an eye on who has the ball within the platform. I think it's quite easy to get confused there. Let's try a block here. Two. Few different block options here. Solo, assisted, block, error, and zero block. Assist will split it up. Just go with the solo block. And we will go into the points again are updated as well. At any point, if you lose internet connection, which I'm surprised has not happened to me yet, given that I'm in Central Ohio right now, you can continue to stat the event locally, and once connection has been reestablished, we will pick up the most recent box score file from that point on. We would generate a file based off of the data that once that connection has been established. We're obviously not playing a 4-point set here, but 25 points is going to be a long day for us all. So we'll go into the next set. Okay, we've still got a 0-0 score. That set was tied. This isn't a real use case. Systematically, if you first team that hits 25 points, you will see the score update here. I'm going to go to another event to show you guys how that looks. Different event, same two teams here. But once the rally score has been met, the actual event score will be updated automatically. But for me to sit here and enter 75 points for you guys, I think I would not be the best use of any of your time. Okay, let's keep this one open. We'll go back to the event that we started. Let's take a look at the game control view. We just started the next set. That's always available at any point, but obviously you're going to start it once the rally points have been met. You have the ability to go deep into the play-by-play. Should you need to insert or edit a given play, these are all options that are available. The edit's pretty in-depth. You can insert before or insert after. Go back to game control. If you need to reset players on court, that's always an option as well. That'll reset the players to your starting six. Given that we played 3 sets and we've determined a winner, you can simply go to wrap up, confirm score, complete game information, enter the end time. Classic. Okay, go. Lastly, provide the records. If something is missing that we require to finalize the event, we will prompt you with an error message here. So, fictional numbers, but enter the home team record. I don't have an active season running here. This is all test and demo data that I'm using. I actually created these teams yesterday. In theory, this data will be brought over from your previous season. So if you have box scores with us in a given season, that data will be pre-populated. Okay, now after successfully updating, successfully finalizing, you receive this success message. But again, in reality, this game's not technically final. Nobody's actually won the number of sets that they were required to win. But we will pop back over to the other event. And let's take a look at the reports that we have generated there. Set by set. Again, always available. Your full game reports. Ability to finalize and send it to the NCAA once a game has been finished. So let's finish this one. Okay, let's go there. Now, throughout that event, we were entering a few plays, a couple of sequences, nothing too in depth. Looking forward to hearing those through your questions. But in theory, that empty file that we created, that PrestoSync created, has now been populated locally. I didn't download this from game day. This has been populated locally, and my application is continuously being pinged for updates. And that's PrestoSync in a nutshell. You would essentially point your video board to the location on your local drive where this file is housed, and it would read that information from there. I think something that's probably worth calling out, I don't know the familiarity, if you are familiar with this file format, a recent addition that kind of piggybacks off of PrestoSync and the ability to determine the players that are actually on the court at a given period of time. There's this new on-court flag. It's triggered by the active starters, active six players that are on the court. This will essentially indicate whether that player is on the court at a given time. Now, once the game has been finalized and we've actually got 3 full sets played, you can go back to game day and grab some additional details and analysis. If you'd like, have your standard reports and stats. You would do this by team. You can grab multiple different formats of JSON, CSV, and XML box scores. You also have season reports combined in a couple of different formats here as well. If you need to pull the roster file for your team to share with an opponent, that's also available here as well. Advanced reports, it's a kind of newer section of our platform. After launching advanced reports, you'll be taken to what appears to be a new application. And in this view, you're going to be presented with the teams you have access to within that season that you originated. And I have access to 2 teams in that season, so I have 2 teams available for comparison. Okay, we can filter the report by date. By default, the start date and the end date are the start and end dates of the season. Again, I'm using a demo season, so the start date was very long ago. And then you can filter by conference, non-conference, tags that you would put on the event when customizing the event itself. Let's just run an all game report. And let's start with the team stats report. Limited data, but a lot of data, but data is only as good as what we've given it. And we only played essentially 6 points. So, but various different reports, you have the ability to print them as needed as well. If you're looking for something a little more visual and user friendly, this is always available. You can grab these reports during the game as well. If you ever run into a scenario where you don't know a sequence or you're not familiar with the hotkey or how to handle any given scenario within our stat platforms, you can simply go to help, and within help we have a few different places that you can obtain information to essentially help you. We have a lot of this stuff is published on our support site as well. So that's not a full match, but it's close. Like I said, I would take a lot of your time up trying to put together a full match here. But in essence, from logging in through to the final numbers and how those are generated, everything entered is now on the record. The box score reports are final. The stat line the players are proud of, and the total the conference quotes all season, and kind of driven off of this stuff. The next time it's your turn, and scores table and your match, and you're in theory now ready for it. But we look forward here to the Q&A and taking your individual questions.
Thank you, Zaid. I appreciate it. And in a few minutes, I'll post some helpful links for everybody. But while I'm getting that set up, we're going to go ahead and start with our Q&A. Number one, and I'll just reiterate this for everybody from the emails that we sent. We will have this recorded and posted all over the place. So this will be on our YouTube page. We'll post it on Facebook. We'll put it on our help center and our website. So 4 different spots for you to find this recording after the fact. Our next question is about touchscreen, Zaid. Can we do play-by-play with touchscreen laptop or monitor?
In theory, you should. I haven't tried it. Yeah. In theory, you should be able to, and if you can, it's something that we will absolutely support.
Awesome. All right. Our
Brad,
next point.
can I hop
Yes.
in and just comment on that too? So as somebody who has done that, I'm sorry, my name is Nick McCutcheon. I'm a project manager here at Presto Sports, former SID. I've statted just about every game we have on all of our systems. So just as a best practice, you can use touchscreen. It's really not advisable. You're going to be much faster with keystrokes. The touchscreen is definitely usable, but with the pace of volleyball, it's a little bit faster if you just kind of learn those keystrokes. So it is probably beneficial to go that route, but the touchscreen is available for you.
Hey Nick, while you're on, do you
Hmm?
want to weigh in on how to set up your rosters? You were telling me about a tip that really helped you.
Yeah, what I would always do before a volleyball game is I would go to both coaches or a member of each coaching staff and just make sure anybody that's on your roster that you have in the system, make sure that they are actually available to go into the game. So if there's somebody out with an injury or that's not there that day or is just simply not going to play in that game 100%, take them off of the roster once you're in the game in Presto Stats. Not from the roster in game day, but once you have the portal open, you can remove players just so you don't accidentally type in number 16 when you meant to hit 15 and you would put that person in the game that wasn't actually even at the arena. So it'll avoid some headaches for you down the road. Because going
Yeah,
back in,
the only caveat there is if you happen to be sharing the same uniform numbers across those players, then in theory it's going to be best practice to go through here and to edit that player individually, set the player who's out of the lineup to inactive, remove the uniform number from that player, and then assign the uniform number to an active player that's coming into the lineup. But in the great majority of other scenarios, making the change in the platform will directly render that into the box score for that game.
yeah, a player that accidentally gets put into a game, it can be a little difficult to go back in and find all the spots that they were. They may have had a stat recorded and get it taken out before you can remove them completely from that game. So, just as a heads up, try to make sure your rosters are accurate when you start the game.
Awesome.
And that really goes for all of our platforms.
Correct. I bring it up for volleyball just because of the fast-paced nature of it. Everybody's made a mistake setting volleyball in the past. It moves pretty quickly. So
100%. Next question, is there a way to view the box score by set instead of cumulative? I've had coaches ask for it in the past. I've also had situations where a player was accidentally entered at some point in a match, but we can't find out which set without going line by line through the full play-by-play.
Yeah. Let's over here.
Here, I can stop my share as I show that.
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My apologies. Here, let me pull this up.
There we go.
Okay. So let me go back here. So you go back to this view. I like this a little bit more than grabbing the stuff from the stats platform. To be honest, I think it's structured a little bit easier. So you would go to the event itself. You just go to the box score view. Let me just show you that link again. It's easy to miss. Go here. You have the ability to download the XML and JSON as you did in the previous step. But if you go to the play-by-play, if you can essentially filter out by the set that you desire to grab, that makes sense.
Zaid, what about box score by set?
We do not have a notion anything deeper than this.
Okay. So you can do play-by-play, but not box score by set. That's definitely something that's been brought up to us in the past and something that we can certainly take a look at.
Yeah, but the thing is if you go back to this view, you can go to every point of the game, right? We store a version of the box score after every single play. So if you want to go back to the first set and only grab the stats from the first set, you can just find the file that was in the first set, right? So that would be here. Well, not exactly. Let me find the exact portion here. Here we go. And as you progress throughout the game, you can grab this file if you're looking, and if you need it after every single set. But if you're looking for a set-by-set comparison, you can just go back to the version of the file that when the set culminated, and download that file from there.
All right. Next question. Can you change a jersey number amongst two players if there's blood on a jersey mid-game, i.e., number one takes number 13, who's already on the bench, but number 13 takes number 44 for a new jersey. Number one had the blood on it.
So as long as the people that were on the bench having their jerseys taken off their back didn't accumulate stats and aren't participants, it won't be a problem. But the second that they've already been in the game and have started to accumulate stats, you would essentially have to go through that workflow of setting that player to inactive and assigning that uniform number to a new player.
Got it. All right. Any further questions before we wrap up? Or follow-ups? You can feel free to unmute if you'd like to.
So if you don't have questions, but if you have feedback or improvements or ideas that you would like to see to help this platform grow, just feel free to reach out to Brad or myself. Doesn't have to be here. It could be via email or anything, but always looking to improve.
Okay. Hearing none, we will go ahead and wrap up for the day. So I'll share my screen one last time. Again, we have all these helpful links that I recommend especially if it's your first time using PrestoStats. Take a look at these. I've put these on our events page on our website, prestosports.com/events. So these are located there along with the entire presentation deck. If you need support, we do have a 24/7 support chat feature. We also have our SMS emergency line, and you can find all that at prestosports.com/support. So with that, we will go ahead and wrap up for the day. Thank you, Zaid, and thank you all for your time. We appreciate it.
We want to thank you for viewing this PrestoStats training session. For additional content, help articles, and guidance on PrestoStats solutions, please visit help.prestosports.com. For support questions, please head to prestosports.com/support.